Okay. Okay, Gino, I'm just going to ask a couple of things you can fire away there. So Fujitsu, so yeah, obviously one thing with the X-League is all the teams are different.
Yeah.
They have different styles of dealing with the foreign players. Some are companies, some are just teams. Fujitsu, what's the life like for a foreign player in Fujitsu? You work in the company itself?
Yeah.
Or what are your day-to-day responsibilities?
Well, a lot of what we have to do is we're a part of we're part of general affairs. So a lot of the tasks that's given to us has to do with I don't know how to explain this. They give us whatever jobs that our skills pertain to.
Okay.
Especially for me, because I can also speak Japanese. I'll teach English. I'm kind of the helper of a lot of people in that area, but I'm also helping out with the football team in general.
Okay.
So a lot of the assignments they have me do pertains to what football has to do.
What kind of, like, you talking about film study, you talking about coaching, or like just promotional activities, or
So, all of the above.
all of them? Okay.
All of the above. So essentially, whatever they ask me to do, I'm there to do it.
So how does that work? I mean, Monday to Friday, you go into the office and just whatever they give you that day is what you
Yeah,
have to
this
do?
is what I have to do. Yeah.
Okay.
So like, and then there's also that gives opportunities for internships as well.
Okay.
So like going and like right now, Adi's working international marketing right now.
Okay.
So like again, so they'll give us opportunities throughout the day to like not throughout the day, but like one specific day throughout the year. Like okay, you can work with this department. So
So, I mean, they're easing you into Fujitsu, the company, like a regular. So after you finish playing football, you can continue working with Fujitsu. Is that the idea behind it?
that's generally the idea of it. So I can continue working in the situation where it would fit well for me. Yeah.
Have you thought much about that? What you're going to do after you finish playing, or do you intend to stay here, go back to the States, or become a teacher again, or?
I mean, I love teaching. I think I'm more interested in mentoring instead of being a teacher, just because there's a lot of aspects of teaching. You're pretty well restricted. I want to live here a little bit longer.
Okay.
Just because I want to get to a point where I'm completely fluent in Japanese.
What's your level like now? You can do business.
No, I'm not business level quite yet.
Okay.
So they give me a lot of leeway in my Japanese. But
Day-to-day conversations, no problem.
oh no, conversations is no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, conversations is no problem.
Did you? I mean, you lived here till you were 3.
Yeah, I was living until I was 3, and then I never came back. So
Okay.
it
So
took
up to age 3, were you in a Japanese language environment, or was it just English at home, or?
It was both. I mean, that's kind of the case generally for my dad used English, my mom used Japanese.
Okay.
But once we got to the States, my mom made it a point to speak English.
Okay.
Because she's like, we're living in America, you need to speak English, kind of.
So then, how much had you retained before you came back? Had you any Japanese or?
Not a lot, to be quite honest with you.
Okay.
So, but I've also been here for about 5 years.
Right.
So, like, those 5 years, I was able to, like, essentially, like, jog my memory and just try to get back or get to a level where I could speak Japanese. Yeah.
So Panasonic, it's on to college, and so Panasonic provide twice weekly, originally 2-hour lessons, and now they're down to like an hour and a half of compulsory Japanese lessons for all the players
Yeah.
to ease their transitions from. Fujitsu do something similar?
Yeah, we have 1 2-hour class a week.
Okay.
But the funny thing is, a lot of the Japanese I've learned was just from being around my teammates all the time. Because you're in an environment where the majority of the people still don't speak English. You have to it's like sink or swim. You have to learn. So a lot of the Japanese I've learned has been from the Japanese players and just spending time with them. I think that's one of the really amazing aspects of Fujitsu is that everybody's in the same company. Everybody works in the same area. So like we see everybody, we hang out, we have dinner together. We're really close knit team.
So you know all the locker room talk in Japanese. How do you say grab an man?
Okay. Grab it.
Do you mind? So, do you care about talking about private stuff, like your engagements and stuff like that, or you want to keep that out?
I'd actually like to, just because,
Right.
yeah.
Separate the two.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can separate the two. I'd like this to be about me.
Okay, so then, like as a player in Japan, the high point would be the championship, the first championship, where you got all these touchdowns in the final, or
The high point
of your career
my
so far
career.
with Fujitsu.
Yeah, it wouldn't be because of the person like what I did. It was more because think of it this way: Fujitsu had never won a championship
Right.
in their 30-odd year history. They had never won a championship, and to see like everybody from the president of the company, like to everybody who's been there the whole time, to see them, they were crying. They were literally ecstatic. So to see that was definitely a high point of my career. Yeah.
That's, I mean, Fujitsu have one of the few like really strong fan bases in the league. I mean, every game, regardless of the importance of it, the fans turn up and the giant flags are unfurled. You know, they're all active on like they're really rabid fans of the team.
Yeah.
Why is that? What makes Fujitsu so special?
I think again, I think it goes back to the fact that we are a company and we all do work together, but also a lot of our fans do work for the company.
Okay.
But then also, we're just cemented within the community. Like a lot of what we were talking about before is like you have to be cemented in the community, which we are, because we work, eat, live in the same area as all these people. We're constantly interacting with them. Like I go to this place called Cactus Burrito, which is in Musashi Shinjo. It's a Mexican restaurant. Like they're really, really big fans of us.
Okay.
But we go there and we hang out with them. We drink craft beers and eat burritos all the time.
So there's a sense of community or locale.
Yeah.
Fujitsu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Fujitsu is I mean, aside from their headquarters right here in Shinodome, like the Kojo is right there in Kawasaki.
Oh, headquarters in Shinodome? Yeah. I didn't know that. Oh, that's good for the photo shoot.
No, you can just right. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I forgot where it is. Just because Adi actually comes down here on Mondays.
So. No, I mean I planned that, obviously.
yeah, clearly.
So you came obviously through your Harvard connections, Frank.
Frank Fernandez.
Frank Fernandez always do it. But how did it work exactly? Did he just call you up and say, come to Japan, or were you looking for something, or what was the exact mechanism of your?
A lot of the way to get into the X League is very difficult, right? Or there's not a specific way. There's not a draft. It's like, especially for Americans, so you kind of have to. A lot of it is personal connection, and they need to see if you're a good fit to live in Japan. Because if you notice, there's a lot of turnover with other teams and stuff like that. Like 1 year guys and they're gone, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they're just not able to adapt to the culture, which is, again, that's an issue on itself. But for me, especially, I actually met Frank in the football office because I was doing some work. I had work study. I had to do work study
Harvard?
at Harvard, yeah.
Okay.
Because I was on financial aid.
Okay.
So I was doing my work study. He walked in. And I talked to him like, "Oh, Frank, how you doing?" Like, because
Did you know him previously?
No. He introduced me. Like, I kind of just because he's an older guy that I knew who he was, but I never met him officially. I got introduced and I talked to him about what he was doing. He said, "Oh, I'm playing football in Japan." I'm like, "Well, I want to live in Japan, like in one way, shape, or form." And he's like, "Yeah, there's a league out there. It's been going on for about football's been around for a while. This specific league has been here for about 30 years, longer than that. I forgot how long that league has been.
Since 71.
71. Okay. So yeah, and he was like, "Yeah, if you ever want to try, just let me know. I'll put you in connection with a team that's looking for foreigners." And initially, he put me in contact with Obik because they were interested because they thought I still had my Japanese passport, which I don't. And then after that fell through, I got introduced to Fujitsu. Once I went to Fujitsu, once I got in contact with Brad Brennan, the wide receiver there. He was a wide receiver there. He put me in contact with all of them, and then I interviewed. And
interviewed means you just talked to them on the phone, or
I talked to them on the phone.
Did you come out and just try out for them? Or?
So I talked to them on the phone first, and then I came out, tried out, and then I got interviewed with the board. Like Fujitsu has like a board, where they wanted to meet all the American players and stuff like that. So I go through you have to go through the ranks to meet everybody to see if they like you and if you're that kind of stuff.
So you weren't getting grilled on your football knowledge then? It was just more of like, see that you're not a psychopath, You can fit into the culture.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it had to do with fitting into the culture. I think they assumed that I had the skills to be able to play here, and I had a decent track record. So I think the second part was like, oh, can you fit? Can you be here? Because we're not looking to have just a guy come in 1 year and leave, right?
And obviously that's wrong too, because Fujitsu has had the same players for. You four guys have been 3-4 years together now. You and Kobe came together. Right?
No, I came in with Adi.
2012 was it?
13.
13. Oh, you're 13. Kobe came 12.
Kobe came after us.
Oh really?
Yeah, Kobe. We came. Yeah, there was 3 of us when we initially came. It was me, Adi, this guy named Andrew Sayamala who went to Oregon State.
Okay.
And then he ended up going back to going back to the States to coach.
Okay.
So it was us two, and then we brought in a quarterback after. Then we brought in Kobe afterwards.
Yeah, Kevin Kraft came first, then
Kevin came first. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
He was the first QB.
Yeah, because they look exactly like, so keep mixing them up. They do. They're like brothers, you know. They're twins.
They're just tall, skinny. Yeah.
No, they're twins. All white guys look the same. So you were the first foreign running back to come to the X League.
I think there was an Open guy a long time ago. I saw him in a magazine.
Really?
Yeah, you got to talk to Open about that. But I was in recent years. Yeah, I just remember seeing Touchdown magazine. There was a foreign black running back for Open. I don't know how long he stayed, but
I didn't know that. I must check that out.
The history of foreigners in Japan is like muddy. Like you don't really. Like, just recently, has there been like a situation where you can see it, like the progression of foreigners coming in?
Yeah.
But before, I think people tried. You know, there's been experiments. You know, okay. Brad Brennan, the guy he was on the team for like 10 years.
Yeah, but he wasn't the name like.
Yeah. He's not Kevin Crad. He's not Kobe. Like he didn't. But he was a good player.
Yeah.
He was on that Arizona squad that was like 111-1 and stuff like that.
I guess it's the thing as well, is there was no English language media. So like his name, like if you search for players, you just find a lot of the stuff is probably done in the last couple of years.
Exactly.
So that's the shame of it, really. But I mean, as a running back, what do you bring that the Japanese players don't bring? What are the specific things that they don't have, or that somebody that hasn't grown up in the States would know about that position in particular? Is it pass coverage, or is it? I mean, because guys can run. But there's a lot more to that position than just running, right? So
I think a lot of it, like a few things, is understanding. I mean, it's a big umbrella. It's understanding the sport itself, right?
Yeah.
Understanding the X's and O's, or just like teaching from America, right? That's something that in preparation, like there's. How do I say this the right way? I feel like there are some people who are just ridiculously good athletes and are able to run, and those guys are usually in the NFL. I mean, their preparation is different. I think for me, one thing I've always kind of prided myself on is that I'm not the best athlete in the world. I'll never say that I was, and I never was. I wasn't in college, I wasn't in high school, but my thing was that I was prepared, and I was able to get everything out, like get every ounce of athletic ability I could out of my body, right? So that being said, is one thing that I thought I did bring to the league was like, I prepare well, and I tell these guys like, this is what you have to do to be able to play. You know, it's not that I'm that much better of an athlete than everybody.
Okay, so I don't know if that ties into the same thing, but one thing I noticed about, like when I'm sort of watching you run, like you say, you're not the fastest player in the league or anything like that, but consistently, almost every time you run the ball, the first guy to try to tackle you misses. You make the first guy miss. Almost every single run. Does that come from the preparation of like knowing the tendencies of where how they're going to come at you and stuff like that? Or is that just
the preparation and also understanding that like pre-snap, understand what defense they're running and like what guys, how they tackle, like if a safety is a kind of an ankle biter, that kind of stuff, like that kind of stuff is very basic. Very easy to find out very quickly about what tendencies each defender has, right? And understanding that, you're able to you're able to do those type of things. Again, we were having that conversation as well. It's just
because this is what he's going to bring.
This is what we like. That aspect that he's going to bring to the league in general is something that like foreigners, because they've had such good coaching, they know how to prepare. They know how to like look at I know how to look at a defender and understand, how am I going to defeat you specifically at that time, right? I think that's the reason why I'm able to do what I'm doing.
There's it's obviously ridiculous comparing players to other players. Everyone's different, but do you think that what you have is one of the reasons that you didn't get to the NFL? Because, like, say the Bears just picked a guy, Jordan Howard, last year, and ended up second in rushing. But he, was in the fourth round, and some people were saying it was a reach, he was there. And in terms of, he's not the most athletic, he's not the fastest, he was caught from behind loads of times. But the two things that he has, one, the same thing. The first guy usually misses him, and he's patient. He doesn't just like take the ball and just run into the line. You know what I mean? So he has the patience to wait for something to open. But guys like him, because they're not blowing up the stat sheet or they're not standing out on film as like ultra athletic. Do you think there's a lot of guys like you that could succeed at a higher level, but just because the physical point, the athletic point is not there, that people miss it?
I think for the most part, there's only there's 53-man roster. There's only so many people that are able to get onto a roster, correct?
Right.
And then you think about how many colleges there are.
Right.
90 players. Like it's just there's always gonna
less than 2%.
Yeah, exactly. So like the idea that like someone is able to play and not being able to be on a team that's everybody. That's a large majority of the population. Yeah. Do I think I could probably make it in the NFL? I think I can, because as a competitor, I think I'm going to compete and I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure I'm on the team. I'll play special teams. I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'll watch the damn floors. But the whole point is that like not everybody's going to be able to get the opportunity to do that.
So it's not because you're not good enough.
Yeah.
A lot of times, people think because they didn't get drafted or they didn't get signed right away that they aren't good enough. There's nothing to do with it. It's all about a team's need, and a lot of times it boils down to they only keep a running back and a fullback, and the second running back doesn't even dress. So on offensive line, eight offensive linemen dress. And that's like at the most. A lot of times it's 7, 5 starters, 1 swing on the inside, 1 swing on the outside. Running backs, a lot of times you got a running back and a second back, or you got a running back and we have a running back and fullback. A lot of teams don't even have fullback anymore.
Yeah.
So they have 2 running backs and that's it. The third is the practice squad guy. And they may bring them up one time during the season for a couple of weeks and put them back down. Because again, there's a lot of number games that go into positions.
Yeah.
A lot of times they got a young guy, they don't want him to get out there. They know he's good. They don't want him out there on the market to other teams, and they got to release him. So they only allow him to play active on a couple of games so he doesn't get that credit in season. If he gets that credit in season, you can't put him back on the practice squad.
Right.
So if you gotta release him, and you know he's a good enough talent to be in your rotation, another team will pick him up immediately. So there's a lot of strategy that goes into why guys don't get put on active, why guys don't make the cuts. They'll let a guy get released and tell other teams leave him alone during waivers, and then we'll bring him back next week and put him on our practice squad. These are things that like is all part of the politics of football. So a lot of times it's not because the guy's not good enough. Maybe a team says, man, we can't get him right now, but we're gonna look for him in 6 weeks, 8 weeks to bring him onto our practice squad or bring him onto our active. So it can play out a number of different ways, but again, it's whether a guy wants to wait that long or wants to take an opportunity to play right now.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and I always felt like if you got a chance to go play somewhere, go play.
Yep.
Because you got to make money, 1. 2, NFL is a fucking crapshoot. They may bring on, I know guys who are better than some guys who are on the active, and they got released and re-signed, released and re-signed. They were better, no doubt better than the guy who got drafted. But again, it's politics. That GM would look foolish to be starting a guy he didn't draft over a guy he did draft, which would amount to a waste of money.
Yeah.
So,
But then you've got a ton of players who are NFL level, but not in the NFL. There are more players at that level.
Without a doubt.
So then, but because the NFL has no minor leagues, do you think, and
they used to send those guys to
in
NFL
Europe?
Yeah,
Right,
that's where they used to go. Yeah.
But then, do you think the X League can be the replacement for what NFL Europe was? Do you think there's the potential? Because here, the level of football in Japan is higher than it ever was in Europe before NFL Europe. Like when it was just, and still European players and the teams are not at the level of here.
Yeah.
Outside the pros, North American pros, this is where the highest level of football is played, right? So, but do you think there's a potential for the X League to become a minor league, a feeder system for the NFL?
Yeah, I think there's always potential to do it. It's a matter of do people in the league want to be a feeder system to the NFL,
Well, as
right?
someone that's inside the league, what do you think that's what the teams want? Do you think they want to grow and become bigger and like become professional, or do you think that they're happy with what they have?
No, I don't think they're happy with what they have. But I think they want to be a professional league, correct? Like
Right.
that's the highest goal. But like to be it's like, what do you want to be? Do you want to be a professional league, or do you want to be a feeder system to another professional league, right?
Well,
It's
they
two
never
different.
did the NFL.
But again,
I would assume that the X League would like to stand on its own as its own professional league.
yeah.
Now, the perk of that is that you have players now in your league that have the opportunity to play in the NFL. I think that's a perk, and you don't leave it a perk.
Yeah.
You don't want to officially become the subservient
Yeah.
to the
You don't.
NFL.
You don't.
But you could become like baseball in Japan. Baseball in Japan is its own league that's, you know, matches, you know, Major League Baseball in many respects. You know? But it's not quite there, but it's not that much different. But when players get the chance to jump to the majors, they do.
Yeah.
You know? Like that kind of relationship.
I think that would be an ideal situation in my opinion. But you always, again, you got to think about like what's the relationship going to be like? Are you going to be a subsidiary of the NFL? Or are you going to be like independent? You know, because I don't think
that has players good enough to go to the NFL.
Yeah. I think
that's really where you want to be. Actually,
exactly. That's what
you want to say. We got our own thing going.
Yeah.
And we got the skill level in our league to have guys over there.
Yeah.
And
Well,
all
yeah,
that
because
does
then
is
the
make our
NFL
league
can.
more popular.
Yeah, exactly.
And the NFL can't plug the plug like they
And
did
let
with
the
NFL
NFL
Europe.
come
You
to you
know?
and create some kind of mutually beneficial relationship.
Exactly.
Not a we're subservient. Not a we answer your call. It's just if y'all want somebody, y'all let us know.
Yeah.
And we'll ask.
Yeah.
You might have to buy him.
Yeah.
That's where you win over the NFL.
Yeah.
But I gotta run about here, guys.
Okay.
Hey, it's nice meeting you, bro.
Take my. You know what? You got line.
Yeah.
All right, let me go ahead and switch your line in front.
You'll see them on Wednesday. You're practicing Wednesday.
We practice on Wednesday.
Wednesday's a full team practice, right?
Yeah, it's full team practice. You got QR code? Is that cool? Or
I'm gonna get you.
He's even got QR codes on his main sheet for line. This guy's set up for Japan.
I'm sure. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, because I went back same time. Gotcha.
Thank you. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man, for sure, man. We'll be in touch.
All right, bro.
I'm gonna stay in touch with you the whole time, so
Hey.
we'll be talking.
All right.
All right, John.
Thank
All
you.
right, man.
See you tomorrow.
Seeing you, man.
1 o'clock at the,
1
you know the
o'clock?
space.
At the same spot, right?
Yeah, the picture I sent you, there's like an exit above ground, right in front of your Yodobashi camera.
Yeah, perfect,
Okay.
man. I'll see you
See
guys
you tomorrow.
later.
Have a good evening, sir.
Have a good one, man. Take care.
That'll be good.
All right,
Yeah. Yeah. It's exciting potential.
Yeah, it's nice to see guys who are willing to kind of get
NFL
into
players
yeah.
come and help. That's huge, you know.
Yeah, I think it's also a good opportunity for them. You know, not that they need to go live internationally, but like they have an opportunity to build something, to help build something. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Going back to just, let's say, the league this year, obviously Fujitsu are champions. Only ranked 4 though in the power rankings. The amount of abuse I've taken.
Oh my God, it's fodder. It's fodder. Don't worry about it.
You know, it's motivating. I'm giving you stuff to put in the dressing room. I'm helping you indirectly.
Hey, I guess the biggest I tell my guys, I'm like, hey, you don't need like if you're worried about rankings and stuff like that, you should
be worried about rankings. We're the only rankings that count. It's like I tell people, you know. I mean, what's the point of a rankings if it's not a hot take, you know? If everyone agrees with it, it's like, oh yeah, Fujitsu at 4. What the? we get the hits. It's the most popular thing we've ever put in the site because everyone was like, what the hell?
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to make sure.
I should have dropped you lower, man.
Oh man, our fan base probably wouldn't have liked that.
No, Panasonic are delighted though.
Oh, I'm sure they were.
What do you think is your main rivals this year? There's obviously a lot of new players coming in. You know, Rise, Devin is playing out of his mind, and he's bringing in a bunch of Michigan guys and IBM as well. Bringing in, I don't know, Rich that was with them in the spring seems to be gone.
No, really?
Yeah. That new guy's nose tackle. Feeney's, the Challengers as well, bringing in a bunch of new players. They got a quarterback, same like Panasonic now, obviously got like basically 5 Americans on the team, you know, including a quarterback. But where do you see the challenges coming to Fujitsu's crown this year?
You know, it's kind of hard to like look that deep. I mean, I think they're all really talented teams, so it's kind of hard to put your finger on one. I think the biggest thing that I tell we've talked, Kobe said it, everybody pretty much had is like, don't worry about those teams. Worry about the team you're about to play now. And we're going to play Luxor. And Luxor is a team that you always have to bring your A game to win. So I think the only team we're really worried about right now is Luxor. So.
With a 6-week season, You know, it's so short.
It's
you know,
pretty short, yeah.
Each game is, but I mean, obviously, most of the teams are going to make the playoffs in the Super 9. But with 8 of the 9 teams making the playoffs, does that make it harder? Because I mean, obviously, if you're confident in your own ability, you think we'll get to the playoffs, we're going to beat any team anyway. Or do you really want that seed, the top seeding, or how much does that matter to the players themselves?
I think getting the top seed is good for the team, just to know, like, to make sure you have the good momentum, right? As long as you have momentum and you're like, okay, we're talking about just taking one game at a time. If you take one game at a time, you're winning each game, you're building on that momentum of playing well, like, you should want to get the number 1 seed. But at the end of the day, I feel like I have confidence that our team we can beat any team in any situation. I feel like you need to have that confidence as a competitor either way. So, but it's always nice to have the number 1 seed.
How did the 2017 Frontiers compare to the 2016 Frontiers? Obviously, you've kept a lot of the players together, but spring season is over now. You've gone through a lot of training. Is there much difference in the team, or do you think it's pretty much the same as it was last year? Or?
I mean, we have a lot of the same guys, but I think again, it's just the focus of the team, right? I feel like we're a lot more focused now on the details of the game and learning the game more. So I feel like we're ready to go. I think we've been chomping at the bit a little bit, just trying to compete, because there was a focus on getting the young guys up to speed on the spring, but now it's full competition mode for everybody. Everybody's always constantly fighting for the job. So that's the biggest thing that we all have been kind of preaching to everybody. Like, compete with the guy that's next to you, compete with your guy in your position group. So if one of my run back does a good play, like, I'm happy for him. I want him to do well, but like, as a competitor, I'm gonna make sure everybody knows that I'm doing well, right? I'm gonna show him that, like, hey, I'm still the number 1 guy, and it builds on each other. As long as they're getting better and I'm getting better, it's only gonna help the team. So I feel like that's a really good aspect that we have for our team.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, then, let's say for the offense specifically, yourself, Colby, Clark is there. I mean, you got a great offensive line. A lot of the guys have been together for a couple of seasons now. You got the same offensive coordinator. You got the same main group of people in the skill positions and the big positions. So, does that give you an opportunity to expand the playbook? Do you bring in a lot more plays, or is it more of we're going to drill what we know and we're going to be perfect at everything we've done before? Or do you use the fact that you know the system and you know the players to bring in a whole load of new plays and try and become less, predictable, for want of a better word?
I think the cool thing is we have such good coaches that, like, you have consistency. If you have consistency, you're able to make sure you get down the very minute details of like what we want to do. This is our identity. This is what we want to do. So we are able to do that. But also, we have such a good coaching staff that we're able to do exactly what you were saying. We're not just tossing in plays, but with those guys, they're able to say, hey, this is what we want to do now. This is how we want to attack the defense, and they have other ways to do it. More creative ways to do it.
So like, obviously, I talked about you today about this. The X League, I tell them it's not a matter of coming in and teaching guys how to play football. It's like a college. You could say the teams are like college level, a certain level of college in the States. So guys know how to play football.
Yeah.
But they don't know how to play at the highest. They haven't played at the highest level in the world, the very, very peak. So, what is it that the coaches and the Americans bring? Is it conditioning? Is it game prep? Is it dealing with in-game situations? What are the biggest changers to a Japanese team? Let's say that the Americans bring the biggest points of influence, we'd say, as Americans.
I mean, if you look from a coach's perspective, from all the coaches that are on our staff, I think preparation is the biggest thing, right? Okay. They're telling, like Coach DK is a guy who's literally bringing an NFL level of preparation to the team,
right?
And he's telling people, "Oh, this is how we do it, or this is the best way to do it, or this is how it's done." And I feel like that has made our team substantially better.
Just for example, what would be a specific example of something that an NFL coach would know that Japanese coach would know? Like today, okay, just to give you my example. Today, he was explaining about O-line play, and it was really the concept of the safeties tell you everything. The safeties tell you the bits, and he was saying how Jacksonville, that this wheel system, like where basically he learned from the center, like how they rotate. If they rotate, the thing is moving. So you have a mental picture of the defense, and it's almost like you're watching a wheel turn. And you can see concepts just as as a group picture. So like, is there stuff like that, or what particular things do NFL coaches know like that?
Again, I'll go back to TK. I'll go back to. Is that like he's a defensive guy, right?
Right.
So his thing is that he teaches us as offensive players, like, this is how a defense attacks the offense, right? This is how they cover. This is what we want to do. And that's the biggest thing as an offensive guy. If I know what he wants to do, I know how to attack him.
Okay.
Right. So that's the biggest thing. It's like, and then like Coach Kevin is an offensive line guy. He understands defensive fronts as well and how they want to attack the offense, right? Or contain the offense. And as a running back, if I know what you're trying to do before what your aim is, I'm able to counter that, right?
So obviously, you're not a full-time professional team. So in the NFL, the position coaches take a lot of time with their own players. So you guys are only training twice a week, 3 times a week,
2 or 3 times.
Okay, but I mean it's still limited. But does that mean the coaches? It sounds like you have a lot more interaction with defensive and offensive coaches. Like the coaches as a group tend to take the players. There's more mixing of coaching sides. There isn't the split between the offense and the defense.
I think generally you work with your position coach. Like I work very closely with Pierre because he's been coaching running backs for a very long time.
Right.
So if he's the first guy I go to, hey, this is what I want to do. What do I do? How do I get there?
Okay.
And we'll review film as well together, and we'll review film as a team, as a position group, and as a team.
Okay.
But I think Coach TK is kind of the guy that just runs around. He kind of walks around and like, hey, really quickly during practice, hey, this is what I want to do. How do we do that? I think as a coach, you should be able to. What you want to do is make sure you're constantly trying to get every player better. Like. Whether that be, if you're offensive defense coach, that makes sense. That's your focus. But if you're able to tell this guy, hey, this is how you can get better, I think it's your responsibility to do that as a coach.
Do you have a coaching role as well with Fujitsu? Because you see some of the articles when you came first were saying you were coaching as well. But
I mean, in the beginning, I was helping out a lot. And I was doing some of similar to like what a GA does, and I actually just in meetings I share my experience or like this is what I think you can do. But once the American coaches started coming in, like kind of took the pressure off me as because I'm still a player,
right?
So I want
to focus on
and I'm still learning too. So that's the biggest thing, right? So it was good to have someone above me who had a lot more experience. So then I can tell my opinion, or I can just go like, hey, ask this guy who's been coaching at a high level for a very long time. And I think that's a great advantage of being at Fujitsu. You have great coaches.
Do you want to stay in football once you finish?
I think I'll always want to be somewhat connected to football.
Okay.
In what aspect, I'm not sure.
Do you feel you have what it takes to be a coach, or?
I think my opinion, I think right now I wouldn't be the best coach just because I'm so focused on being a player.
Right.
I think if I really wanted to, I think I'd be able to eventually learn and kind of grind.
Well, you have experience as a teacher.
Yeah.
So
I think
you teach kids, you can teach players. Right?
That's true.
It's a lot easier. Isn't it?
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing is like I feel like for anybody for that matter, if you're motivated to do something, you can do it.
You worked a few months in sports radio or something like that?
I did in high school a little bit.
Have you thought about going into the media after your playing career is done? Working for Inside Sports Japan, We need experts, We need the guy,
Yeah, hey,
you can be the Terry Bradshaw or the guys who've been on the field,
I don't think I have the outward personality enough to do that.
I think you could do it.
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, hopefully by the time you retire, we'll be big enough and just hire you to be the in-studio guy,
Just be that guy, just come in.
Then you can say what you really think.
I'd be unconnected, so I wouldn't be represented. It'd be fun.
All right, so thank you very much.
No problem.
That was good. I got more than enough there now.